All right, we're in Barstow Yard here at the fueling tracks, and we're taking the Q-CHI to LAC here, Chicago to Los Angeles container train. These locomotives just got filled up with fuel, and I got to pick up these two cuts over here of containers over here in the intermodal yard, and then we're heading down to Hobart Yard in Los Angeles. So let's get into this. Actually, first I got to get the tracks lined up for me. Oh, we got another train coming in. And you can see we already had 3 supply trains, so this is the 4th supply train now coming in. So our map's starting to fill up. We're going to have some trains to put over the hump. And while we're waiting for that train to come in, let's take a look at our map. So this train started over here in Chicago, and it made it all the way down to Barstow. And then it has some containers to pick up and drop off at Barstow Yard, which it just did. And now we're going to take it from Barstow all the way down to Hobart Yard, which is down in this area. And if I zoom in down here, you can see here it is right here. Also, I want to remind you, if you want to drive this exact train, I've got my world save files in Google Drive. So if you follow the link in the description and you go, it should take you to this folder. And then if you go to the California series and then look for the Q Chicago LAC, double click that. And then here's the 2 world save files in here. And then all you got to do is throw those into your SoCal trains folder. And then when you're in run 8, open it up and you'll be starting exactly like I did. And now I can get my switches lined up. And I'm going to be coming from up there, so I should be able to do that and then cross over here. I'll give myself a restricting because I got to get down here. Get all that lined up. All right. I think we're good to go. Oh, I gotta back up and cross over. I did the wrong switch. Oh, I don't even have that switch thrown right. Unbelievable. Luckily, you don't really get penalized for having, if you're going that way down the wrong switch. Alright, let's get this fixed here. Oh, I'm still not far enough forward, it looks like. Gotta go forward a little bit more. I gotta clear this block there. There we go. Let's go. Can I get to this? Oh, it's not going to let me. I'll have to do it. All right. So in this case here, because the cars are in this block, they're like hanging over the edge. It won't let me flip the switch from here. If I left click, it doesn't do anything. So what I can do is do it manually when I get there. So I'm going to, by right clicking, it turns blue. I'm going to leave it blue. And then when I get there, I'll get out and switch it. And actually, I just realized I don't want to go down that track first. I want to go this way. And it's not letting me switch this one either. Huh. How about this one? Oh, that's weird. I guess I'll leave both of these blue. I actually want to drop off 2 of these engines on this track because they're going to be the rear DPUs. So I should be able to flip this switch by just clicking on it. Yeah. So normally you couldn't do that. Like if I went to this one and tried to do it, it'll give me the warning in the top left. See, it's a lock CTC switch. But because I left this one blue in the dispatch screen, I can left click on it and flip it. Now I can drop these off right here. I'll put a handbrake on and disconnect the, we don't have an EOT, so I don't have to worry about that. And I gotta close both of these, and then I'm gonna have to click on the coupler here and disconnect this MU connection. And now I can uncouple. And that one's set to MU. Oh, you know what? Yeah, see how the idle jumped up? I don't know why, because it should be in neutral. I'm not sure why that idle jumped up like that, but once we pull forward here, because these are both now, because I disconnected the MU cable, they're both just considered multi-units. See how now that idle kicked down? That happens on the SD40s, where the idle jumps up. You know what? I guess we could leave this straight. We'll pick up this cut first and then that cut. All right, let's do that. Did I go far enough forward here? I think we got enough room there to fit through. Oh, we do. I left it a little bit tight. I should have probably given myself a little bit more room. Open that all the way and this one partially. So when I started, these two cuts were completely empty. So what I did is I made sure I was not in control of any train, clicked on one of the cuts and then hit F7 to fill up, like get them preliminarily filled up with 70 PSI, and then hit relinquish and then did the same to the other cut. So now we can fill it up realistically, because they wouldn't have been totally empty. I'll pull the handbrakes off, and then I can check the dispatch screen. Oh, I can't. That's why, because I have that signal's still dark. That's why I can't flip it. Once that turns red, then I should be good. And I don't know why it's not turning red. Well, that should turn back to red. I'm not sure what is happening. I can't flip. Okay, well, we'll just keep going. Our flow is down below 60, so we're good to start pulling it. You usually want to wait till you're below 60. going to start the counter. So we got to go 3,000 feet before we're clear of that switch. And then I can back in and grab the second cut. But I got to figure out what's going on up here because it wasn't letting me set the track right. Yeah, why is the signal still dark? Signal currently unavailable. What if I reset auto? I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to get out and just flip it manually. And because it's still blue, I can just run up here and do it myself. But yeah, I don't know if I've had this problem before where it wait a second. Oh, there. I just had to make it. I thought I had it blue. All right, those are going the right way. I don't know what's going on with that signal. And then let me check Cajon. So nobody's coming, so I got plenty of room here to pull out. So I right-clicked on that signal on the dispatch screen, so now I got a restricting so I can go through here. So if we were to take this track here, that would split off to the right and go to Mojave Yard if we were going up to Bakersfield. But we're going to be going down the Cajon Pass to Los Angeles. So we got to go this way. Just a little bit farther. Oh, this signal came back. But it's still showing restricting. Oh gosh, we need notch 2. Still stopped. A little more, keep it going. Okay, now we're ready to back it up. Very nice. Now again, these are all hooked up because I F7'd them before to get them ready. So I got air hoses hooked up, and they should have 71 in all the reservoirs. So we still have to put air in them, but they're not completely dead. Not completely empty. So that CFM only is going up to 44, so I can open this all the way. And then I can run to the back. Oh, I was going to say, run to the back and put an EOT on, but we still got to connect to our rear DPUs. I'll let this charge up just a little bit more. All right, our flow's coming down, so let's start pulling these forward. I think we're pretty heavy here. Let's see what our HPT is. Currently 1.9, so when I put those rear DPUs on, we'll have a little more power. I'll get the counter going now, but I don't have to wait till 0 because we're already, it's starting from where we are at the moment in this lead engine, and it's more than clear. So probably when I get to around 100 feet, we should be clear. Oh, I'm up here. Okay. Oh, I just gave myself that restricting just in time. Oh, we're clear. Wow. Still, that my counter still said 1,600 feet. I guess I started it when I was. Yeah, I guess I was. I was way up there. For some reason I was thinking I was back here. Well, we went a little bit far, but that's all right. You know what else I just realized is that I didn't use my... I didn't go with my initial plan, which was to drive these DPUs up to the train rather than back the whole train up. That really didn't make sense on my part. So well, I guess I gotta wait for this slack to stop. Now I can connect the MU cable. Wait a minute. Oh, what am I talking about? That's connected there. There is no MU cable to connect because we're just hooking up here. But what I have to do to fix that... I need to get this... Oh, I guess I can open this all the way. I need to set this one as the DPU lead. So right now, see how these both say MU for multi-unit? But I want this one over here to be the DPU lead. So if I click this, now it says DPU lead. See how the idle kicked down now? But I don't want it to be going forward because that's that way, off to the right. So I need to switch this, hit this so it goes to reverse. So now this is the DPU lead and it's in reverse. We've got short hood trailing, so that's good for the headlights, and it's in run. So that is it. That's ready to go. This is single middle run, that's good to go. Both of these are open, right? That's angle cocks are open. And then I got to put the EOT on here. And actually, so because it's internal, like it's not an actual physical EOT hanging off, you don't even have to open up the angle cock there. You could just keep it closed. And back in the front, you can see we got a reading here on the rear, so you know it's working. So on these ones, like on the ES44s, I think ST70s, all the newer locomotives, you don't need to actually have the angle cock open. You can see our DPU right there, so that's good. So now let's do, let me quiet it down here. Let's do a brake test. Oh, you know what? I could even do it this way too. I usually like to go just below 70, but 70 is good. And then we'll make sure we get down to 70 on the rear, and I can bring up the brake chart at the top. And everything's looking good. Make sure we get down to 70 on the rear. And there it is. Now let's check our bail. So I'll release the independent brake, and then I'm going to hold down the bail. And there it goes on the lead, and then watch that B under the DPUs. It says 47. See how it snapped down to, drop down real quick to 0. So that worked. And then in our brake chart at the top, you can see we got white circles, so the locomotives are completely bailed. I'll put the independent back on, so it's holding the train. And there's just a little delay going back to the rear. There it goes. And now I can release the automatic. And one other thing I can do is put the fence on and then run to the back and make sure that the DPUs are working correctly. So now that I have that fence on, I can apply, actually, I need to release the, how did I do that? I got to release the independent brake back here, because you can't release the independent brake on just the rears. If I drop it now, it's going to do all of them. So I guess, yeah, I just messed that up. What I should have done was after I had bailed off. So I'm going to put the automatic back on. I'll just do 10 pounds. And then I was supposed to test the DPUs when I bailed off the locomotives and before releasing the train brake. That's when I was supposed to do it, because then the train brake's holding everything. So I'm just gonna bail these off again. But now I got the train brake holding everything with 10 psi. Okay, now that these are bailed, now I can apply a notch on the back here and see what happens. But I'm only applying to the back because the fence is on. So there's one notch. Takes us there. You hear it kicking in, and it should be going pushing forwards. I mean, well, reverse for these. Nope. You got to put it in forwards first. So I just notched down. I was sitting in neutral. That's a rookie error, rookie mistake. Okay, now we're in forward. And now I just applied one notch. It doesn't show you the DPUs on this HUD at the top, but I know what's going on. So here now they should start. There we go. So they're pushing the right way. So I can take the power off, put the independent back on, jump back to the front, and I can release the train brake, and now I can give auto a call, and let's go down to Los Angeles. Oh, if he does the... Oh, no, good. Okay, I thought he might do the call me at the next control point, but we're good. Here we go. Now that I just heard that EOT move, I'll give it another notch. You don't want to go too much power. Actually, I need to put the fence up because that's too much in the rear. I need to put the rears back just down to 1. Because if you look at our miles per hour per minute up here at the top, that was getting pretty high. We're accelerating a little bit too fast. And it looks like we got a green up ahead, so should be smooth sailing here. I've also got a bare table train that is heading to LAC, and there it is right there, Stockton to LAC bear table. So I don't know if he's gonna beat us, because he's already almost at Hinckley, so he's like right up here. I think we're gonna beat him, but he's a bear table, so he might move faster. It'll be interesting to see if he passes us up on the way. And we're still limited to 15 miles per hour because we're still coming out of the Barstow Yard back there. This is control point Jewel that we just went through. We're clear for 60. While we're picking up speed here, let's take a look at our train. Chicago to Los Angeles, 6,000 feet, 3 horsepower per ton, 6,400 tons. Total train speed limit is 70. I'm starting the counter because we were going up a 0.6% grade and now we're going downhill, but the rear of the train is probably still going up. So I actually want to keep the rears pushing up that hill. But the counter will let me know roughly when the rear should be over that crest. Oh, now we're clear for 70. This is going to be fun. I'm usually doing mixed freight where you're limited to 55, so I'm looking forward to these higher speeds. I'm just gonna pull that fence off so we're in notch 8 all the way so we can try to get up to 70 because we're back going up a slight grade. That was just a brief dip that we went through before. I'll just open the window up just a little bit to get some of that nice engine sound. This seems like quite a sharp curve to be going through here at 70. I'm also excited to see auto route us into Hobart Yard because that's something they fixed in the latest update. The Ren8 developers noted it in the latest changelog. So he should send us, we got our LAC tag on here, he should send us into the yard, which is going to be awesome. 3 HPT, 3 horsepower per ton. We're not going to be able to get up to 70 here unless we get a little bit of... Oh, I'm going up a 0.7% grade. But I'm going to need a little bit of help. I'd like to hit 70. This should be CP Hodge. This is definitely a pretty desolate part of the track, part of the route. Next town coming up will be Victorville. That was getting a little bit loud. You guys let me know what you think. Is it better when I've got the windows open like that and you get the solid engine noise, or does it get to be too much? I was thinking about the HUD at the top of the screen. I don't know how much you guys reference it or look at it, but it would be a nice feature if... Actually, it looks like they do have a very slight tint on it, behind it. You can see kind of a very faint line, and then it's slightly darker, but it might not be a bad option, kind of like what they just did with the train tags for the colorblind mode. If they had an option where you could have it be a black, just a solid black bar behind this text, because like some of these numbers are probably a little hard to read when they're on this, or actually maybe an option to change from like a white or black or, you know, different color backgrounds depending on the text color, so you could read it a little better. I got some feedback in the comments from the video a few videos ago, and people were saying they like the green text color the best. I just realized watching the train go by, I never even turned the headlights on. So there's the main headlights and the rears. I wonder what the ruling is. I think they just have to be on all the time, night or day, I think. But I wonder what happens if an engineer forgot to turn them on during the day. And I think this is a perfect spot to end episode number 1. So stay tuned. Episode 2 will continue right here.